What's up, y'all? Daveeezy made back with another video. Y'all see the thumbnail? Y'all see the title? I love Miss Crockett. I cannot stop doing Miss Crockett videos because I love her so much. Let's get right into it. Let's go.
Joining me now, Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. She's a member of the House Oversight Committee. Congresswoman Crockett, welcome back to the Saturday show. You signed the letter calling for Justice Alito to recuse himself after news broke of the first flag.
Yeah.
Your reaction now that there's been a second flag?
Listen, we're not going to play with this. We know who Alito is. He's not trying to hide who he is. I mean, I know he tried to hide behind his wife during the first incident, but he has nothing to say about this second incident. You know, I had my little drama that happened in oversight. Unfortunately, what wasn't covered was that the court reform task force was rolled out the exact same week. And in that task force, we've got three major things that we're looking at. We're looking at, number one, term limits. No more than 18 years. We're also looking at expanding the court because we know right now that we literally cannot trust these folk. And the last thing that we're looking at is making sure that there's some actual ethics reform. So we have three bills that we're pushing forward with. We're trying to educate the rest of our colleagues on it, and we're trying to hopefully get some movement in the House, and then, you know, we just pray about the Senate.
Okay, so this gets to something that House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said this week. He said if the Supreme Court doesn't, quote, get its act under control, Congress should impose an ethics code. But is that going to take a new Congress and a new Congress with a Democratic majority to get those three bills you're talking about through?
Absolutely. I just don't think that we have the courage on the other side. Oddly enough, if we still had one of our Freedom Caucus members, Ken Buck, he may have actually joined in because he is a former prosecutor. So one of the issues that he had with dealing with the folk in the House is that he did not feel like there was a legal pathway to impeachment in the first place. And he felt as if his colleagues were diminishing the institution by playing games with trying to impeach the president by going out and impeaching Secretary Mayorkas and things like that. And so he, in my opinion, has a little bit more respect for the law. The rest of them, there may be some that respect the law, but they don't have the guts to stand up and do what's right.
Do you think Justice Alito, I've heard some people say that Justice Alito should be impeached. Would that go too far?
No, I don't think it would.
You don't think that would open a Pandora's box?
The box is already open, Jonathan. They just don't have control of the Senate as well as control of the White House. Although the impeachment is just the Senate. But listen, I don't think that we'll have the filibuster if the Republicans get a hold of the Senate again. You know, Democrats hide behind so many traditions, not laws, but traditions, even when we start talking about appointments to the courts. I mean, it's amazing that the president has been able to do what he's done. But guess what? We've got a ton of vacancies in the state of Texas, and we can't get them because of blue slips. Blue slips are a tradition. They are not law. And basically what we see in the South, where a lot of these terrible cases are coming from, is Republican senators say, no, you can't have any appointments in our state. We're going to hold on until a Republican is in. And then they decide to forum shop and send all their crazy cases to the crazy judges in the South and then take it up through the Fifth Circuit. And then we know what happens when it gets to the Supreme Court.
Well, right. And that gets to what I was going to ask you, because it's not just the High Court, the Supreme Court that we're talking about. We're talking about folks needing to worry about those federal appointments. And you're alluding to this, but in your home state of Texas, it was a Trump-appointed federal judge who helped send abortion back to the Supreme Court in the mifepristone case.
Yeah, with no legal basis. I don't know how this guy made it to the court. He doesn't sound like he's that intelligent, or he pretended not to be intelligent. I'm not really sure. But the base is, I mean, we're talking about a case where there was no standing. And for those at home that don't understand, standing is like first grade for lawyers, right? Like, it's like, this is the first thing you learn. You somehow have to be harmed before you can go holler at the court, right? And so we're talking about people that literally have nothing to do with mifepristone. Were like, you know what? I feel this. And so I'm going to bring this case. It should have been shut down immediately, but it did not end up happening.
I love that. If you are not harmed by the case, you cannot holler at the court. That's just genius. All right. So can we just go back and talk about the Supreme Court? Because I'm just wondering, does Supreme Court, what's his name?
Alito.
Chief Justice. I'm sorry. The Chief Justice.
Yes.
Does Chief Justice John Roberts actually have control of this court?
I would argue that there's no control anytime MAGA is in the room. That's just the bottom line. And while Alito and while Thomas may not have come up through MAGA, Amy Coney Barrett did, along with Kavanaugh. We know that there's a lot of MAGA in the room. And Alito and Thomas came in and they wanted to be MAGA. They really did. But that's not where the Republican Party was at the time. And so now you're looking at a court. I mean, Roberts is usually who we look at for the swing. I mean, this is bad. Like, this is really, really bad. And the fact that Amy Coney Barrett may actually go with the mifepristone case, I was like, you finally woke up and realized you were a woman, or that you got children and that your children may be affected. Like, I'm not really sure what woke her up and made her decide that, okay, maybe I don't need to go this way. But we appreciate her if she does the right thing.
I was going to say, we don't have have a judgment yet.
It was all
ruling.
the questioning. The questioning
Right.
made it seem like she was on the right track, but we never know until it actually goes down. But in addition to that, Republicans are really getting what they asked for, which is actually too much, because they're not really good at policy, right? Like, that's why when they ask Donald Trump, they say, hey, what is your policy on repro? And he's like, oh, I'll get back to you. How are you running to be the president of the United States and you don't have an opinion? You do have an opinion. Oh, you just don't want to talk about it because it's not popular. And for people that can't read the tea leaves, listen, the little rights that you do have left in California and New York or whatever other states have decided, Kansas, Ohio, he's trying to say, I'm going to snatch those from you too. So you better pay attention to what he's not saying.
Those tea leaves are the size of maple leaves. Let's just put it that way. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of the great state of Texas, thank you very much for coming back to the Saturday Show.
Absolutely.
I love how direct she is, man. She do not play. She's very direct. She keeps it 100 every single time. She's not gonna lie to you. She's gonna state the facts. She always gonna state her opinion, how she feel, man. I guess there's a lot going on in Supreme Court. That's what I'm getting from this. I'm still learning about all this stuff, man. So all this is still new to me. All this president stuff, all this politics stuff. All of it's still new to me, man. I know the other lady I want me to check out. I think I did one video on her, but we're gonna check more people out. I need more suggestions for lawyers, congressmen. I need suggestions for a lot of people so we can pump out these videos. Cause I've been stuck on what to react to, y'all. So, yeah. Shout out to Miss Jasmine Crockett, who should become a president and stop playing. Stop playing. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that like button if you like the video. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when we upload. Alrighty. I gotta get more videos out, y'all. So I love y'all. Peace and love, baby. And we out.